Good morning and welcome back to part 12 of our VPC playlist. So in today's video, we are going to learn that what are VPC flow logs. So let's start. So now let's talk about the VPC flow logs. So information can be captured about IP traffic going into your interface such as VPC flow logs, subnet flow logs and elastic network interface. So information can be captured about all the IPs which are going into your interface in your VPC flow logs, subnet flow logs or your elastic network interface. It helps us to monitor and troubleshoot connectivity issues. Flow logs data can be stored in S3 bucket, CloudWatch logs, and Kinesis data firehouse. So the flow logs can be stored in three different services. So which is the S3 bucket, which is used to store the flow logs, and we can also store the logs into the CloudWatch, and in also the Kinesis data firehouse. Captures network interface information from AWS managed interface to ELB, RDS, Elastic Cache, or Net Gateway. Right, so this is what flow log is. Now let's see the header of the flow log. So whenever you get the header, there are many different things available in our header. So first of all, first is the version, then second is the account ID, third is the interface ID, here is the source address, then we have the destination address, then we have the source port, and we also have the destination port after it. We also have the protocol suggested here. We also have the packets here, that how many packets are there. We also have the bytes here, and here is the starting and here is the end. Then we have the main thing in the header, which is action and log status. So let's see the main things that are in our header, which is the source address and the destination address. So they both helps to identify the problematic IP, and we also have the source port and destination port, which is very important for the flow logs. So it helps to identify the problematic ports. And last, the main thing is action. So it tells success or failure of the request due to security groups and network ACLs. So in action, if there is accept, then there is no issue with the security group and the network ACL. The permission or the request is permitted by the security group and the network ACL of our VPC. If we have declined here, then there is some issue with the security group and the network ACL. So let's see that how to troubleshoot the issues with our security group and our network ACLs. So first of all, this is the image of the incoming request of our network ACL and the security groups. Here we have the inbound rule defined and the outbound rules also. So first of all, let's see about the incoming request. So if here in the image, if the inbound rule is rejected, then there is a issue with the network ACL or the security group. So as we know that if the request is not accepted by the inbound rules, then the inbound request will be rejected, right? So if it is rejected, then we have issue, either the permissions are not matched with the network ACL or it is not matched with the security group. So you have to check both the inbound rules and then you have to fix that issue. And if the inbound rules are accepted, or we can say the inbound is accepted and outbound is rejected, then the issue is only with the network ACL. As we know that SD or the security groups are stateful. So if the inbound rule is accepted, automatically the outbound rule will be accepted. So if the inbound rule is accepted and outbound rule is rejected at the time of response, then there is only issue with the network ACL only. So you have to fix that, and there is no issue with security group at this rule. So now let's see the outgoing request. So here is the same image of the outgoing request of our network ACL. Here are the outbound rules and here are the inbound rules. So if the outbound rule is rejected, then there is the issue with the network ACL or the SD, I can say security group, as if the outbound is only not accepted, then the permissions are not matched, so you have to go and check for your permissions of your outbound rule. But if the outbound rules is accepted but the inbound rules are not accepted, then the issue is only with the network ACL. As we know that if the SG group will accept the outbound rules, then it will automatically accept the inbound rules as it is stateful. So if the outbound rule is accepted and inbound rule is not accepted, then the issue is only with the network ACL and not with the security group. So that's how you can troubleshoot your security group and network ACL issues. So now let's see the different architectures of our VPC flow logs. So first of all, as we know that we can flow our VPC flow logs into our CloudWatch logs. So from there we can send our logs to the CloudWatch contributor insights, and from there we can get the top 10 IP addresses which are contributing into our network in our virtual private cloud in our VPC. So this is the first architecture. Now let's move on to the second architecture. So in second architecture, the VPC flow logs are flowed into the CloudWatch logs, and from there we can set a filter, and we can say that if there are more number of SSH and RDP requests, then you have to create a CloudWatch alarm, and you have to create a alarm, and you have to set a alert whenever there are more number of SSH and RDP requests, and you have to send that alert to the Amazon SNS service, so that we can know that something fishy is happening, right? If there are more number of SSH and RDP requests, then something is happening. So we will come to know by the alert which is sent to our SNS service. So last architecture is that we can store our VPC flow logs into our Amazon S3 bucket, and from there we can analyze the VPC flow logs with SQL using the Amazon Athena service, and we can also visualize that flow logs by using Amazon quick site service. So these are the three architectures of our VPC flow log. Now let's move on to the hands-on of the VPC flow logs. So let's go. So now let's start the demo of our flow logs. So till now we have not created any flow logs, right? So let's go to our VPC and let's create the flow log. So we are going to create the flow log in our demo VPC which we have created. So click on it, and down in the tabs you will able to see the flow logs here. So click on it. So we are not able to see any flow logs here, right? So now let's create one. So click on create flow log. So we are going to store our log data into the S3 bucket. So let's name our flow log as demo S3 flow log. Then we have filter here. So which type of traffic you want to capture, you have to specify that here. If you want to capture the accept traffic, you can click on accept. If you want to accept the, or you want to capture the reject traffic, then you can click here. And if you want to accept or you want to capture all the traffic, then you can choose all here. So at this point we are going with all the traffic. Then we have the maximum aggregation interval. So we have two options here, 1 minute or 10 minutes. So if you have a very big project and you want to capture the logs of it, so you can go with the 10 minutes, because in 1 minute there many logs would be generated, and it would be very difficult for you to manage afterwards. So if you have a big project, you can choose 10 minutes. But at this point, as we are just doing a hands-on, I am taking 1 minute. So click on 1 minute, and we have to here of course specify the destination. Here we have four options provided. First is we can send our logs to CloudWatch logs. We can send our logs to S3 bucket. We can send our logs to Kinesis Firehose in the same account or in the different account, right? So we have this fourth option. At this point, we are going to choose the logs to send to the Amazon S3 bucket. So for that, we have to create a bucket, and we have to specify the ARN of the bucket here. So click on create bucket, and let's create one bucket so that our logs can be stored into it. So let's wait till the service is getting opened. Okay. So here, let's create a bucket. Let's name it as demo Akriti bucket. Okay. We are going to take all the configurations as default only, right? As we just want to store our logs into it. So let's create the bucket. Okay, so our bucket is created here. Now let's open it and let's copy the ARN of it so that we can provide that in our flow log. So here is the ARN. So copy it and let's go to the VPC console and again paste the bucket's ARN here. Okay, so after all the configurations we are going to take as default only, right? If you want to remove the tag, you can do that. It's optional, so don't worry. Now let's create our very first flow log. So all our logs would be stored in the Amazon S3 bucket which we have created recently. So let's create the flow log. Okay, so we have created the flow log, right? We are able to see the flow log here. Now let's create one more flow log. We will send all the logs into our S3 CloudWatch service, right? So first of all, let's name it as demo flow log. Sorry, flow log. EW means CloudWatch. Here also we are going to take all the traffic. Then 1 minute here, and here we are going to send our logs to CloudWatch logs, right? So here we have to specify two things. First is the destination log group and second is the IAM role. So let's create the IAM role first. So click on setup permissions and here you have to create a role. So click on create role and this role is custom trust policy, right? So we are going to choose that and here in the principal part we have to add the service which is our VPC flow logs, right? So let's name it service and here we have VPC Flow Logs. Give the name proper of the service, otherwise it will give a error there if it will not find similar one then. So the name is VPC Flow Logs dot Amazon AWS.com, right? And we have to give that in the principal parameter and this is the service part and in that we have to provide VPC Flow Logs dot Amazon AWS.com. After giving that in the policy part, you have to click on next to provide the permissions. So here we are going to provide the CloudWatch full access permission. So right here CloudWatch and you will get the CloudWatch full access permission. Click on it. And after doing that, let's click on next. So here we have to name our policy. We can say flow log CW means CloudWatch, right? And then we can review what we have written here, right? In the policy part, VPC flow logs. Remember, please provide the name properly, otherwise afterwards it will give you an error. And we have added the permissions of CloudWatch full access, right? Next, let's create the role and let's wait till the role is created. Okay, so the role is created. Now let's go to our VPC console and let's refresh it here. We'll be able to see the role. So we are able to see this. This is flow logs CW which we have created recently. Right now we have to provide the destination log group. So for that we have to go to the CloudWatch service. Let's go to the CloudWatch service here. Let's say CloudWatch. Now let's open the service and create the log group. Let's wait. So here in the log part, we have to go to the log groups and we have to create one, right? So click on the log groups and let's wait. Okay, now let's create one log group. Let's name it as VPC Flow, VPC Flow Logs, and the retention period will keep as 1 day, right? And let's create our log group. Click on create. Okay, so our VPC flow log is created. It is inactive. Let's wait. Okay, so we have created the VPC Flow Logs, right, in the log group. Now let's go to our VPC console again and refresh here, and let's select the VPC Flow Log here, right? So we are done, right? Now we have given the name, we have given the destination log group, we have given the IAM role. Everything is perfect. Now let's create the flow log here. Click on create. Okay, so the flow log is created successfully, right? So now we have two flow logs here, one for S3 bucket and the second one for CloudWatch, right? So now let's go to the S3 bucket and check that the logs are there or not. So let's go to the demo bucket and let's go to the object part here and let's refresh it. Yes, we are able to see the logs here. AWS logs, click on it. There are many folders inside it. We are able to see this is VPC Flow Logs, the region 2023, 4, 6. Okay, so this is the flow logs which is generated and captured in our S3 bucket. So we can also watch that on our CloudWatch service. So let's click on the flow logs and let's view. Let's refresh the log streams and let's see that the streams are generated or not. Let's wait till the log streams are generated. So here we are able to see the log streams into our log groups of the CloudWatch, right? So this is the ENI ID. So let's go to the instances and check the ENI ID. So here is the 03C1. Let's check our instance ID, ENI ID. Let's go to the network part here and let's check the ENI ID. So this is the same ENI ID, right? So that log stream is generated for the Bastion host instance, right? So let's go and check the logs. Let's click on it. We are able to see many traffic coming, right? So the IP is this, the traffic is coming from this IP and it is rejected. So if I want to reject this IP, I can go to my network ACL and say deny, but automatically it is getting denied as it is not accepted, right? So this all are the logs which are generated in our CloudWatch service, right? So these are the traffic we can say which is accepted and rejected and they are getting stored into our CloudWatch service. This same traffic is stored in the S3 bucket also. We can also refresh this also, right? We have 5 now here. So both the traffics are same and all the traffics are accepted as we have selected the filter all there. So if the request is rejected, then also the traffic will be stored in the CloudWatch and the S3 bucket. So now let's filter out our traffic using the Athena service. So let's click here and say Athena and let's open the service. Let's wait. Okay, so the service is open now. First of all, we have to edit our S3 bucket location here. So edit the settings here. So first of all, we have to create a bucket for it. So let's go to the buckets and create one bucket for Athena. So let's say demo Akriti Athena, right? Let's create the bucket. Okay, so the bucket is created now. So let's copy the ARN of it. Let's go to the properties and copy the ARN here and let's go to the Athena service and let's paste it here, right? So first of all, everything is proper. Now let's save it. Okay, so it is not valid because the format is this, right? First of all, let's give a slash here and let's remove this S3 and remove the two columns in between. Give the bucket name, right? Now it is perfect. Okay. So that's great. Now we have given the S3 bucket here and now let's save. Okay, so it is saved. Now let's go to the editor part. And here first of all we have to edit something, so let's create the database first. So let's go to the browser and give the name as AWS VPC Logs Athena, and it will show you that how to do that. Okay, I'm sorry, just this. So we have to query Amazon VPC Flow Logs, right? So we are using the Athena service for that. So we have to create first of all the table here. So click on it and let's go to our Athena service and paste it here. And down you have to change your location here. You have to give your location till the region code. So let's go to our demo service here and let's see. Okay, we have to go to the bucket, which is this, in which our flow logs is saved. So open that bucket and we have to open that bucket till the region code, right? So let's go and open. So this is the code, this is the VPC log, this is the region, right? Now copy the S3 URI here from here and can copy it from properties also. So copy it from there and go to the Athena service and again delete it and paste it here, right? This is our VPC flow logs path and let's run the query. So this is the database query we are able to see, right? So it will create the table. So now let's run the query and let's wait till it gets created. Okay, so the query is successfully completed and the table is created, right? We are able to see the VPC flow log table, right? We are able to see all the columns here. That's great. Now let's alter it. So let's go to the guide and let's copy the alter table also. Copy it and now let's go to the Athena service and first of all paste it here. And now we have to copy the location till the date. So let's go to S3 bucket and let's open the folders till the date ends, right? So now let's go to the properties and copy the URI till the whole date. Go to the Athena service and now let's paste the location here. Okay, now you have to change the year, the date here also. It is 2023. It is April month and date is 06. Okay, so now let's run the alter table query also. Click on run and let's wait. Okay, so the query is successfully completed here. Now next we have to filter out our queries, right? So we have to select and let's go to the Athena service and perform the select query. It will provide us the filter out data which we want. So let's run the query now and down we'll be able to see the filter out data, right? So the query is successfully completed and now here we are able to see that whatever uh, protocols from protocol 6, whatever action or we can say the request is rejected is being showed here, right? From the particular protocol 6 only, right? Where the action is reject and the protocol is 6, we have to get the Athena will get us the date, interface ID, source address, action, and protocol from the database table which we have given here, right? So these are the queries which is filtered out. So I think there are many results here. Oh my god, there are 100 of results here, right? So the action is reject here and we can see the protocol is 6 everywhere and the action is reject. So this is how you can filter out your queries using the Athena. So that's it for the video. Meeting you in the next video.